right, welcome in.
Hi.
Hey, wow. It's episode number 12. I'm Shippy.
I'm Grubes.
And welcome to episode number 12. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. We got a little food segment we're going to get into later.
I love food.
Yeah, food's great.
Look at me.
You look great.
Thank you.
I love your hat.
I love mine. My hat. I love UNT.
Me too. I also love the Dallas Cowboys, for better or for worse. And this season it's been for worse the entire time.
But hey, we're still stuck with them.
We're still stuck with them. They're thick and thin. They lost 30-24 to the 49ers. The score makes it look a lot closer than it really was
I'm
for
gonna say,
about 89% of the game.
Like I admit I lost interest for a little bit and tuned out.
Yeah.
To walk my sweet little dog Ponyo. And then I came back and I was like, oh snap, it's 30-24. Like we got a chance at this thing. No, we never really did.
No,
It's like maybe we're making a really epic comeback, and then like I saw, I think it was like a commenter on The Athletic that's like, this is just kind of what Dak does sometimes. Is like he's now playing against the garbage team. The fourth quarter, like all the subs are in, or fair amount of them, and so of course his numbers are going to look pretty decent.
Well, yeah, and then they're also playing more of like a prevent style. Like they're just kind of. It's not really the same defense you face for the first three quarters.
Right.
And so he was picking them apart. And
it's Trevon Diggs' effort.
Yeah. And
too soon?
Yeah.
I don't want to get yelled at by him.
Don't get yelled at because Trevon Diggs is pissed.
Yeah.
And he will come out of the locker room right now and confront you about it.
In his pads.
In his pads, everything. I mean, the dude hasn't even changed into street clothes. And basically what happened is Mike Leslie put a tweet out of a big run or a catch. I think it was a catch by George Kittle. I think it was a run.
I don't know. It was a play that involved Kittle running.
So Trevon Diggs was covering George Kittle, basically, in man coverage. So he's running up the field with him. And then basically Mike Leslie kind of just put a tweet out and then said, what is Trevon Diggs doing on this play?
Yeah. Not saying anything. That's literally all he said.
He just asked, what is he doing on this play? And then Trevon Diggs goes in, and first thing after a brutal loss like that, what does he do? He checks Twitter, and he sees that, and he goes, hey, that guy's outside the locker room. I'm going to confront him. So that's what he did.
Took from that? Out of that whole play, that's what you took from that? You don't know football. You can't do nothing that I do. You can't go out there and do nothing. Stay in your lane, buddy. Stop playing me, bro.
Just asking a question, Trevon. I mean, I'm happy to have you answer the question.
Out of that whole play, that's what you took from that? That's what you got from that whole play, that's what you got from that?
I'm asking you. We can talk about it more. What were you doing?
So
you can talk about Deez nuts.
Which is a great line. Like,
hell yeah, it is.
That was what was it, like 2016? That
probably
Deez
even
nuts?
before that, but yeah, like it's...
That was when Deez Nuts ran for president, right?
Yes, I believe you're right.
Or around that time. Yeah, I think that was, because it wasn't the last election. It was the one before that, that Deez Nuts was who I voted for.
Well, I don't want to get political, so I'm not going to tell you who I voted for.
Okay, I appreciate that. See, Deez Nuts represents the House Party.
Oh.
It's not really a political thing.
I like house parties.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. With kid and play.
Yeah. So if they decided to run again, you could feel good about voting them because they're just right down the middle.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna write them in.
So write them in, please do. So I want to show the play now. That was brought into question here because I think it's important with the whole conversation and because I kind of have Trevon Diggs back here. I don't like what he did at all, but I think that he does have a point in terms of, bro, that whole game, the one thing you criticize is this play and my effort. And if you watch, I think what he's actually doing is it's not a lack of effort. He's trying to protect from a cutback to get to the inside because he's got two defenders that are here. Here, check out the play and see what you guys think.
Started under center, walked back to shotgun, and throw across. Here goes Kittle. On the run, George Kittle inside the 10. Kittle to the pylon.
So he kind of slowed,
He is marked.
He slowed up a little bit, but I think he was playing the cutback to the inside if he was able to kind of get around. I think it was Donovan Wilson that grabbed Kittle's jersey and fell down. Who Donovan Wilson had an awful game.
Yeah,
Like,
not great.
And maybe that's what Trevon Diggs is thinking. Like, dude,
There's so many more problems with that play than me.
And it's like, I get it. Like he's like, dude, he's probably frustrated because, we'll show Diggs' response to this whole thing in a second on Micah Parsons' podcast, which that was an interesting thing. Like right after the game, I saw Micah Parsons like, Trevon Diggs is going to be on the edge with Micah Parsons to talk about the play. And I'm like,
awesome,
dude, not now.
Yeah.
Like,
was that? I guess that was already planned and it just worked out that way.
I don't know. I think Diggs is is he a regular guest? I guess on his.
I have
podcast?
no idea.
I don't know.
I only watch Shippy and Grubes and Your Dark Companion and all our Sunset Lounge friends.
Yes, I'm the same way.
Damn right.
But yeah, so with Trevon Diggs, like I would be looking at like, dude, Donovan Wilson had an awful game. There was a play action that the 49ers ran, and Donovan Wilson was cut and went towards the guy that they faked the ball to before realizing, like, he was just getting torn apart on Twitter. And that was the one play that I saw that people were pointing out where it was like he was lost out there on Sunday.
Man.
And like, if I'm Diggs, I'd be like, bro, he's probably frustrated with the way Donovan Wilson's playing.
And to his credit, he has, as far as I know, he hasn't said anything about him.
Right. No, and he didn't throw his teammate under the bus, but I think he's got a point. And, you know Mike Leslie, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm friends with Mike Leslie. You're friends with Mike Leslie. I see him all the time at the American Airlines Center covering Mavs and Stars. I think he's a great guy. But, like, I also he's from Philadelphia, right?
Somewhere weird, yeah.
I think he's from, like, I have seen some stuff, like, in the past where he's pointing. I'm like, ooh, he's trying to, like, poke the bear a little bit.
I was about to ask that. Do y'all feel like Mike Leslie kind of, like, pokes the bear? Because that's not the first time this year alone that Mike Leslie has made a headline based on a little bit of degradation of the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Because remember during preseason, he was the one who posted the picture of the Cowboys training camp that said no one's here.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if he's necessarily just trying to troll, for lack of a better word, but it does make sense if he is from maybe somewhere a little bit more up north,
I'm pretty sure
and
he's
then
from Pennsylvania.
Coming in, as the successor to Dale Hansen, there's probably a little bit of an element where at the least he's not opposed to using his platform and his voice to maybe call things out a little bit more than, the market typically has.
And as the successor to Dale Hansen, that kind of feels like maybe it's expected of him because that's kind of the precedence that Dale left.
Yeah.
Because Dale was not scared to do that.
No, he sure wasn't. Like, he literally lost his radio color analyst gig because Jerry got tired of all the criticism and all that.
And Jerry brought that up with the thing with the fan with Sean and RJ where he was like, look, this is like when Dale Hansen went on me. Look at him. He's no longer in the booth.
Got rid of Brad Sham for a while.
Yeah. So
brought him back, and now the booth is named after him, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
But yeah, like I think, Mike Leslie just, he's not opposed to throwing stuff out there, but to his credit, obviously, like he was even trying to say, like, hey, if you want to talk about it, we can. But, instead, Diggs said, let's talk about Deez nuts.
Right.
Which I also respect.
Me too. And like
my king.
In that scenario too, you've got a reporter who's like, he doesn't care who wins or loses. He's just been confronted by a star Cowboy about a tweet, like, and the Cowboys coming from another loss. What is that? 2 or 3 in a row now?
All of them.
Yeah. I feel like we've lost every single game ever.
Team sucks.
Yeah, we do. We suck again.
Oh no.
But he's coming out in like a very emotional state.
Yeah.
And like, like he should not have done that. He should have just let it go. But I can see how it would be. I'm sure Trevon Diggs is being tagged in that because, some people were saying, look, he's in man coverage. Some people were saying, oh yeah, business decisions. He doesn't like to tackle. And I could see where, and let's play his response now because his response, I think it's not really an apology, but it does kind of show you, what was going through his head and why he went out there to confront Mike Leslie like that.
Why did you react the way you did, and what's your thoughts about that? Media trying to portray an image that isn't there. Because, and then before you go, I do think, he was wrong because obviously you're in man coverage and times you got to see it, kid was going upfield. So the narratives that he's trying to drive from the video was wrong, but kind of give your thoughts what led to that reaction and that outcome.
Yeah, I just felt like, it was unnecessary. I just felt like, he was trying to use my name, for clicks. And, after the game, I just happened to see it, and I clicked on it, I seen who it was. I was like, oh, he right here. I just saw you. So I went up to him, and I just spoke how I felt. I felt like it was a lot of emotions, just losing, coming out the game. We fresh off the loss. I'm a competitor, so, I wanted to win. So, just a lot of emotions, and, I just kind of let my, emotions get the best of me. But, at the end of the day, it still doesn't make it right for anybody just to be saying anything or just trying to throw dirt on your name or make you, seem like you're doing bad or a bad job, because, I felt like I played my hardest game yesterday. I felt like, I did everything I could. I felt like, I was tackling, setting the edges, just doing everything to help my team win. And for him to just try to throw that on my name, it just didn't sit right with me because you were like completely wrong.
Why did you?
So, that's where the clicks thing comes in. And like when I saw it, I was like, that is a weird guy for the whole night to single out like that. Like, out of all the things that happened, the entire night, like it was Trevon Diggs on that one play. Like, did it look like he let up and maybe had a lack of effort for a second? Yeah, but he may have also thought that those two Cowboys, I think it was Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson, he may have been thinking like, oh, one of these guys has got him, I'll protect from the cutback, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, damn, neither one of them tackled him. Now I've got to be the last line of defense. I got to knock him out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of going through Mike's tweets right now, just seeing, like he's giving his opinions throughout the game. Like, it's not a ton of, he's not using video on every single one, but like he's also saying like George Kittle abusing Donovan Wilson, Purdy is just off tonight.
Right.
There's like he's tweeting throughout the game.
Yeah.
And I guess something I'm kind of thinking.
Did he tag them all in his tweets, or was
he didn't tag
he didn't tag anybody?
Okay, so he just saw
like it just happened.
just
like that
popped up.
video showed up, and I think it just gave him a chance to give a little extra thing about it. But maybe I'm gonna play both sides a bit here, where like I think from Mike Leslie's standpoint, he's just doing what he always does, where he's just part of it's just giving the facts of the game, counting on people just following along, and he's giving kind of unbiased updates, but he's also throwing in his opinions on stuff. And I think from that side of things, like he's gonna maybe make a little bit extra point about someone like Trevon Diggs because he's one of the elite players that we're supposed to have. You're gonna get more
right. You have
attention.
higher expectations, too.
And so there's that, but then, as Ashley says, like, look, these athletes are dealing with, the attention and all that goes with it. And, some of it's kind of part of the gig.
Yeah.
But, as he kind of made it sound like, I think, where he had just gotten done with the game, he's not happy about losing. He did look like he played hard otherwise. And even on that play, I don't know enough to know if he was taken off or, that was just what he thought was the best potential move to make. But I don't know. It's just a funny thing of they're both doing their jobs. And
right.
I think Trevon Diggs didn't do himself any favors by confronting Mike Leslie right there.
Yeah.
And especially not trying to have the conversation, which, he doesn't owe Mike that or anything. But if you're going to go out there, it's kind of like, well, you better be ready to back up what you're saying. And if you're going to, make a whole scene relatively, like, all things considered. He wasn't, just going nuts. But
yeah, and he wasn't like threatening or anything like that. I mean, he told him to stop playing with him and like
right, and like you couldn't do my job, which even Mike Leslie's like, yeah, I know, like
right,
I'm a reporter, I'm a very handsome gentleman, but I cannot form tackle to save my life.
Well, this may be a thing too, where maybe this was just this all built up to this, like maybe this is something that he's seen Mike Leslie tweeting about him a lot recently, and it would just kind of, I don't know that for sure, but maybe just from that one game, or maybe it's a thing where it's like, God, this guy's always hating on me.
Right,
and
like, Mike Leslie's been here for a decade at least.
Yeah.
And, so that's for the entirety of Diggs' career, he's got Mike Leslie potentially, in his craw.
Yeah.
And maybe it just worked out where, a bad loss, a frustrating loss, and he's like, screw it. I'm going to go out there in my pads and confront this dweeb.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a dweeb, Mike. I think you're handsome and awesome.
Me neither.
But yeah, so it's just a weird thing of, I don't know how to feel about it.
I think it's like, he obviously should not have gone out there to confront him like that. Like, if anything, maybe wait till practice this week. Once you got some time to cool off.
Yeah, or wait till you're on your teammate's podcast.
Exactly. Like,
where you can talk about it for as long as you want. Like, he gave a reasonable enough explanation. Like, it's still not perfect. It's still not ideal, but it's also like, hey, I was mad, and this is what I decided to do. And so, like, kind of, he owned it reasonably, but
he didn't completely apologize, because I don't think he's sorry for confronting him. Like, it's pretty obvious, like, he wanted to get that off his chest, and he wanted to let Mike Leslie know that he saw it, and he wanted to let him know that he didn't appreciate it and that he was wrong about it.
And, he was probably trying to intimidate Mike a little bit. And to Mike's credit, he's like, no, we can talk about this here. We can, what happened?
Yeah.
And, maybe it's Diggs realizing that if he were to say something, he'd have to throw a teammate under the bus.
Right.
And that's good on him if that is the case. We don't know.
Yeah.
But, it's just, regardless, Mike did get his clicks. I don't know that he's necessarily going for that, but, in media, like, hey, we're hoping that our discussion of this right now gets some traction. Give us clicks.
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
America's team's fans.
For Deez nuts.
Yeah. And Mike Leslie's nuts.
Yeah. Did you see his tweet where he said, I do not have a comment on Deez nuts?
Yeah, and then he had to go back and clarify,
my bosses
my employer.
Yeah. He said, my employer wanted me to clarify, because I don't normally tweet stuff like this. This is in response to this.
Yeah, here's some context, but it would be awesome if Mike Leslie did just become Deez nuts guy. 10 years after it was hip.
Yeah. So
he missed his chance when it first was coming around.
I think Trevon Diggs has brought it back.
I was gonna say, like, I haven't thought about Deez nuts in a while.
Me neither.
So what a joy to be able to talk about Deez nuts again.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston's also a pleasure.
He really is.
We've wanted to talk about some of his pregame speeches. I think we played one of them on one of the earlier episodes.
We had a discussion.
We had a discussion about him with the water has no soul.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Because we still owe everybody maybe a full
Jameis Winston
segment.
And now that he's the starter for the Browns, led the Browns to a big win over the Ravens. I feel like we can do that segment now. Because before it felt weird, like, hey, let's listen to these speeches by the backup quarterback who doesn't play but is still awesome. You know? Now it's like, okay.
We can do it.
He threw for like over 340 yards and like 2 or 3 touchdowns. Like, he looked good.
Yeah.
And and it's the full Jameis experience. Like, one play before he threw the game-winning touchdown, he threw what should have been an interception.
Yeah.
And the Ravens defensive back Kyle Hamilton, I think, he just dropped it. And then one play later, of course, Jameis throws for the game-winning touchdown.
It's not boring with him, I can tell you that.
We don't want to break down Browns football, but what we do want to do is play his pregame speech and then his postgame interview, just one excerpt from it, because the more that we can get Jameis on the mic, the better it is for all of humanity.
I believe. Me too. I believe. Me too. I believe. Come on. I believe. I believe. Listen, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard what the Lord got for the Cleveland Browns. Come on. Okay? We don't have to see instant gratification. We don't have to see something good happen, folks. We gotta believe. Yes, sir. We gotta have that unwavering faith. Come on. I got that. Come on. All right. You got one opportunity. You got one opportunity. Yeah. Most of it, man. And I believe in my crew. Hold with me. I want you to go. Family on three. Family on three. 1, 2, 3. Family. Believe.
No joke, that gave me chills.
That was pretty good.
That was great.
No, he
I'm
like
gonna say he's a really good
That was awesome.
pregame speech guy.
no, he's like, and when I watched it, I was like, damn, like I'm ready to play for the Browns. like,
I want to tackle someone.
yeah.
Okay,
You're getting tackled.
Ponyo, where are you?
Yeah, Ponyo. We need a
Line
fact
up,
check
Shippy and Grubes.
Yeah.
We need a.
You guys against one another right here, right now.
No, we're good.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea.
No, Deez nuts that way.
Oh,
Way
but
to go.
yeah, his. Did you see the clip of where he said he had another pregame speech. I don't know if it was before this game or not, but he said basically, play for the name on your back and the logo on your helmet, and he goes, wait, we don't have a decal on our helmet. his just I don't know, he just speaks his conscience, like his experience is just what he says out loud. It was so funny because the guys started laughing with him. He goes, but anyways, just play for each other. Like,
Like,
he's
screw it.
He's like, forget that point.
Yeah.
We're moving on.
I'm backing out of this cul-de-sac, but here's the thing.
And then after the game, of course, CBS had their interview with Jameis Winston, and the final question and answer was just pure gold.
It's not often that you get another opportunity like you have just received in the NFL. What does it mean to lead these guys, and what could be the start of what you said is something special moving forward?
Man, it's a white boy from Detroit that I really admire named Eminem. He said, you only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity lasts once in a lifetime. And I know I got a quote, Eminem, he from Detroit, he right up the road, but man, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that the Lord provided me with this opportunity. I'm grateful for my teammates, my coaches, and these amazing fans.
Unbelievable performance today. Congratulations, James.
I was kind of wondering where that was going. I hadn't seen that yet.
Oh, you hadn't?
No. I wanted to be surprised because I know that he's generally a delight.
Oh, my
So
God. He's amazing. And, like,
we're like, okay, white boy from Detroit. And, like, it took me a moment. Like, okay, I think I know who he's going to talk about. But it's there. I'm sure, like, everybody in the production truck, like, clinched for a moment.
They're like, ugh.
They're like, whoa, what's he going to say here?
Yeah.
Oh, quoting Eminem.
Yeah. So,
But that's awesome.
yeah, I mean, I'm happy for him, too. Like, he just seems like a good guy, like a fun guy. You could tell, like, the team was really rallying around him before with that pregame speech.
I was going to say, like, for a decade now, like, going back to college and all that, eating the W and whatever, like,
oh my God.
dude seems to, like, have epic pregame speeches no matter where he is. Like, some guys, they try, and everybody you can tell is kind of like, yeah, okay, like, we're fired up just for the game regardless, but that speech didn't really do anything.
And that's a skill to be able to give that speech. Like, I would be terrible about that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think emotionally I'm capable of it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty like quiet, reserved. Like,
Yeah, like, go team.
I'm like,
I'm glad to be friends with all of you.
all right, guys, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Week 8. We got week 9 coming up next. Good luck out there to all of my teammates.
To everyone.
To everyone. So, Jameis
I want y'all to
Winston-
give me your best hype speeches.
Oh,
Let's
my God.
go.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, I need some time.
I want
Yeah.
the next show. I want hype speeches.
Yeah, we're not Jameis. We can't just
I
pull a
want-
rabbit out of the hat and
Boo.
motivate everybody.
Did Ben and Skin ever do that to you where they tried to put you on the spot with the explosions in the sky music and you had to give like a big speech?
I didn't, not with Ben and Skin, but I know Soroy at one point had me, when we were doing the downbeat, he made me do a speech for like the World Cup or something.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
like
And like you're
U.S. soccer.
You're
or
motivating
something.
America?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I believe that we will win.
Yeah,
That old
like
thing.
I can't remember how it went. Probably not super well, but it was funny. Hopefully.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
where it's like okay, no one's gonna be fired up listening to that.
Right, and like that's a great bit. Like that's what makes it funny. That's why Ben and Skin would put different people like guests, like Travis Frederick, each week before the Cowboys game. We'd talk to him, and he'd put them on. He'd have me start the music. All right, Travis, we need you to get the Cowboys fans ready for this game. Get your teammates ready. The whole world is listening. Go. Good luck.
Man, I'm so sad. Like, since we weren't as sports focused at the Freak. And we had some sports guests, but not like that. Man, I wish I'd gotten to do that at least once.
Like I was thinking about this the other day. It's funny you bring that up because I was thinking about this. We pranked Zach Martin.
Really?
We pranked him into thinking that he had to. He was hired to do an appearance at a bar mitzvah, and then like he was just supposed to show up, but then it was like, and Travis Frederick was in on it. He's the one who got hooked Zach Martin with this. Like, hey man, we got this appearance coming up for a bar mitzvah. Blah blah blah. It's just be something light. And then we got him on the phone, and they had him. They acted like they wanted him to pop out of a cake and give the kid the birds and the bees conversation, and they wanted to give grandma an ice bath at look, she's barely holding on, but we need you to hit her with this ice bath right after this.
Good Lord!
I was thinking about it. And I was like, that's ridiculous. That just to do that to any professional athlete.
Yeah.
The fact that it was Zach Martin, future Hall of Famer,
right? Really
pro,
damn good.
One of the best offensive guards of all time. God.
Speaking of Skin,
one of the best offensive guards of all the time. Klay Thompson.
Ooh.
With the Dallas Mavericks.
Dude, that was a hell of a segue.
Man, thank you.
You just come up with that?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, just.
Damn.
Right off.
Got a pro here.
Right off the top of my head.
Segue Shippy.
Segue spins. On Instagram.
Shippy segues.
Yeah. The Mavericks got their season started on Thursday against the Spurs.
Man.
Big win over the Spurs. They're now 2-0 at home.
That's good.
Beat the Jazz and the Spurs, and the Klay Thompson experience, in the preseason, it was a little bit not worrisome, but he's getting used to a new team. The offense still isn't really clicking like it will by the end of the season once Kyrie and Luka and Klay are all real familiar with each other. Because, that's a huge offensive piece to just insert into the lineup. And he spent his whole career, obviously, with the Golden State Warriors. So you can tell, they're still getting to know each other. And Kyrie even said after the Jazz game, look, it's going to take some time. There's going to be some times where we're just not real sure where he's going to be or where he wants or he is supposed to be. He set the record for the most three-pointers made in his first 3 games. He's hit 15 threes. He's shooting 45.5% from 3. Dude, I can't even explain how exciting it is and how it feels different inside the American Airlines Center than it did last season.
I bet.
And last season was a very special season, obviously. But this one it just seems like they've got the right crew. I'm sure at the trade deadline they'll go out and still try to get better, maybe bring in somebody else. I don't know who that would be.
Maybe Dirk.
Dirk? That would be great. Could you just bring him in just for free throws at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Hey, we got this, Dirk. We just need you to sub in. We're going to give you the ball. They're going to foul you. We just need you to knock down 2 free throws every time, and you're good.
Yeah, it's like a weird version of Hack-a-Shack.
Yeah, except a very weird, unsuccessful version.
Right.
But no.
Man, that does have to be just, I saw he's starting to do the 3 goggles again.
Dude, he did that.
That had to be just so damn cool to see in person.
It's so surreal. Watching Klay Thompson play with the Dallas Mavericks, every time after the game, I literally get on Twitter, X, whatever, and I search Klay Thompson just to see the videos, the reaction, what people are saying nationally. Shaq after the first the home opener against the Spurs said if Klay averages 20 that the Mavericks are going to win the championship this year.
I like that thought.
Me too. I love that thought. Dude, it's and the whole thing between the first 2 games, Jaden Hardy took over as the backup point guard against the Spurs. He was the first one off the bench. He handled all the minutes. He looked great. He was real decisive as a passer. He looked real in control, running the offense, which was a big step from last season. He's always been a good player, but I felt like in the past, like he seemed a little bit out of control when he would kind of run things. And then the home opener against the Spurs looked fantastic. He came in, I think, in the second quarter and led them on a run to put them back ahead. And because the first half was a little bit ugly against the Spurs, then the second half, everything started clicking. It was beautiful. But then you fast forward to the Jazz game at home. Spencer Dinwiddie, first point guard off the bench. He lit it up. There was a time where the Jazz got it within 2, and then Dinwiddie, I think, hit 2 threes or something like that. Like, he came in and played phenomenally. And that's what we talked about either an episode or 2 ago, was like, dude, Dinwiddie is like the backup to the backup point guard. But now it looks like they have 2 backup point guards while Dante Exum is getting healthy, who's a versatile defender. He's great at, distributing the basketball. He hits a lot of clutch shots, as we saw last year against the Rockets. So, dude, I was excited before the regular season started. I said, I don't think I've ever been this excited about a team. And the excitement is still just growing.
Yeah, like it's only hopefully going to get better with each game. Like Kyrie was saying, like they're going to get more comfortable with each other as long as hopefully everybody stays healthy and or healthy enough. Like, it's just insane that a team is allowed to have Luka and Kyrie and Klay.
But then it's, you got the star power of the big 3, and then you've got PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively. You have 2 centers after years but since Tyson Chandler probably, having nobody who could, protect the paint like he could. And even on that team, like, he was really the main rim protector, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Jan Mahimi was the backup. And
Jan Mahimi.
I love that guy. But we've got 2 centers now who you don't want to. I mean, they had, I think between the 2 of them, they had 5 or 6 blocks against the Jazz. Dude, I don't know what else. Dante Exum will get healthy here in a couple weeks, hopefully. And so he'll come back, and then, I mean, it's a scary time for the rest of the NBA, I think. I mean,
it's scary. It's spooky season.
It is
for
hashtag spooky
NBA
season.
teams.
It's spooky season for me, too, because I got to figure out what costume I'm going to wear on Thursday for Halloween at the game.
Yeah, I guess you can't do the blind ref, or at least you'd have to get a new set of jersey or whatever.
I don't really want to do, and honestly, the blind ref thing that I wore for the Stars game was, I went to Spirit Halloween because I was DJing Ben Rogers' actually Halloween party, and I was like, I should bring I'm
glad I got invited, Ben.
Yeah, he should have invited you.
Dick.
Yeah, what the hell, Ben? I thought we were friends.
I knew we weren't, but
I thought you guys were friends.
I thought I would still get invited.
Did you get invited, Shippy?
I worked.
Oh.
I DJ'd it.
That's
okay.
That's how
I was like, wait.
Ben thinks about you. It's like, I don't want you there as a friend, but I'll let you work it.
I was going to say, an invite's different than a work fight.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would honestly, no offense to Ben or anybody else out there, I would rather be work invited.
All the offense taken.
I will only be in a room with Ben if I am getting paid a sum of money. That's something I told Ben at one point. Like,
really?
I am paid a certain sum to work with this man.
Well, I mean, it's not inaccurate.
No, like,
you
especially during the freak,
like,
yeah. Otherwise, I never talk to that MFer.
Yeah, especially not now.
No.
Dude, do you know Happy Dad Tyler Norman? Do you know him? He like runs the marketing for Happy Dad, but long story short, he went to the party and he dressed as Jelly Roll, and it was incredible.
Okay, yeah, we need that video to send to Ashley because
it's
insane.
It was like he came in and like I didn't even recognize him because he was wearing like a fat suit underneath all of his big clothes, but he had everything. He had the like cross face tattoo. He had a backwards Happy Dad hat on, of course. I'll send this now to Ashley, but yeah, it was one of the most incredible
like that was an insane
I've ever seen
costume because like I saw like your Instagram story or something, and it literally looked like Jelly Roll showed up at the party.
And so it was funny because he was singing this one song over and over again. Somebody Save Me or something like that.
That's like the new hit out now.
It's been, so I've never really listened to Jelly Roll, but after that party, I ended up listening to Jelly Roll the entire ride home, and it was good stuff.
He's not bad.
But there was like 4 different versions of that one song. There was like a
God.
version with Eminem, Haley Wilson, and then like his own version.
Yeah, maybe one with Post Malone, if I remember right.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh,
but-
no, that's from the F1 Trillion album.
Oh, okay.
Post Malone and him. I only know that because I listened to that on the way home on Jelly Roll Radio or whatever I was listening to. I actually have this video on my computer. Should I try to?
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get this to work here. Oh, here.
Oh, God.
All right, let's see. We're going to do this on the fly here.
Thankfully, we're not live, so
Yeah.
Ashley will make this all good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Should I just play? Where's the full screen button? Here we go. He's got the chain.
Say God bless Jesus.
God bless Jesus, and then God bless me. It was so good. Like he came
Dude, that's
in,
insane.
he came into that party yelling that, just screaming it, and I was like, "Is that Jelly Roll?"
I was gonna say, like, he committed.
No, he did. It was a fantastic costume.
Man.
So, congratulations to him on looking just like Jelly Roll, and shame on the Miami Heat for making a statue that looks nothing like Dwayne Wade.
They should have just made a statue of Jelly Roll.
For real, and just talked to Happy Dad Tyler
Yeah,
and
just,
got
you
him
know,
to.
hey, close enough.
No, if you haven't seen this yet,
Oh my gosh.
the Miami Heat have decided to honor Dwayne Wade for whatever reason. I wouldn't honor him for anything, but they honored him with a statue that looks nothing like him. I'm pulling up the picture now.
Like, what were they?
I don't know what they were thinking here. Why they made this statue of him? I don't know, like how sometime during the making of the statue they weren't like, "Hey, do you think that does that look like D Wade? Like
Yeah,
at all?"
Like, they have reference pictures. Like, they have to at some point be like, yeah, we might have to melt this one down and start over.
Yeah, like, and they should have done that. Like, have you seen, like, they when they unveiled the statue to Dwayne Wade, his reaction is priceless right here. So, oh, look, fire! There's not Dwayne Wade.
It's just,
who is that guy? And what is he pointing at Deez nuts? And Dwayne Wade's like, And they go back and he stands in front of him like, so he's like, he's judging his own statue.
yeah. And it's like, surely he had a chance to see it before then, right?
I don't think so, because I know with the Madonna statue,
like he just had
Madonna
no idea.
didn't see it at all.
Well, I mean, they knew that they wanted him to cry and everything, so
right. Well, and I don't think Dirk saw his either.
he probably didn't. No, so I guess it makes sense, I guess, that they don't see it.
But don't they get a
beforehand,
say
but-
in like the picture that's used
They get-
and all
I think-
that kind of stuff?
They
Yeah.
get a say, I believe, in like, hey, is this cool if this is like the pose? Like,
Yeah.
this is the pose that's going to be cemented forever outside of our stadium. Are you cool with that?
Can they get their money back?
I don't think so.
Like, I don't know how the Miami Heat saw that and didn't say,
Yeah,
No, yeah,
like,
like-
we could delay this ceremony. Like, it's not ideal, but you know, it's not like they get it the day before the ceremony or something. There's at least a little bit of time to try to say, like, yeah, we can maybe not have a Cristiano Ronaldo
Yeah.
type
Ooh,
of
here's
incident.
my next question is, how are they made? Like, is it like sculpting or is it like furnace and you only get one shot at it?
Like
Like
Eminem.
Eminem. I don't know. I mean, I know, like, my first thought was, holy crap, we got so lucky that we hired the guy that made the Madonna and Dirk statues, because those
did great.
statues look just like them.
Yeah,
they
phenomenal.
look fantastic. The detail on
Yeah.
both of them are great.
They
Like,
got a little bit of color on them.
they got color. Madonna's jerseys like flapping in the wind,
yeah,
like it
the
would.
details.
Yeah, like the details are phenomenal. And then you broke this news to me seconds before recording this that the same guy. There's no way this can't. There's got to be an imposter, because you are breaking the news that the same guy who did the Madonna and Dirk statues did the Dwayne Wade statues.
Yes.
It was his apprentice.
Maybe, but
He
like
got an intern to do it.
yeah, but he's also done like David Beckham, Elgin Baylor, Magic Johnson, Josh Gibson.
David Beckham's
Like-
was kind of weird though. I think
Yeah,
too.
let's
Like
take a
there was
look.
one that I think it must have been David Beckham, but his looked kind of odd.
I mean, there's Cristiano. Oh yeah, yeah. Or wait, David Beckham. He does look a little bit like Pat McAfee. The statue does.
He does kind of look like him.
Maybe this is interpretive art.
Well, they didn't interpret Dwayne
Maybe.
Wade. Is the problem.
Yeah, they got Morpheus
They got
or something.
yeah. The memes have been great. Like somebody's like, why do they have a statue of Morpheus outside the? Like it does look just like him.
And now, like, people are photoshopping like the statue onto Dwayne Wade, like action photos, like the like alley oop where Dwayne's arms are spread and LeBron's coming over.
Oh, I
behind him.
saw that. And
They put his head, the statue's head onto Dwayne, and
they're saying that they gave him the
Thanos
Thanos jaw.
or Goro from Mortal Kombat, and
There's
there's the
I mean, dude, the fact that this happened. There's
there's Ronaldo.
The fact that this happened to Dwayne Wade though makes me so happy.
Oh,
Which
it's
is
beautiful.
worse?
It's karma.
Ronaldo or Dwayne Wade?
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I mean,
Ronaldo just.
Ronaldo's.
It looks a little bit like Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, it does. You're right.
But like it's
He's got a really weird smile and his eyes are really messed up and so is his mouth and his teeth. But
like everything.
It looks like when I see everything, it's definitely not good, but it's better than Dwayne Wade. Like
Right.
if you were to show me that statue of Dwayne Wade just without like there's no jersey, like it's just his face. Like who is this? I'd be like I have no idea.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know if I would think of Morpheus.
No, like someone pointed out like Antoine Walker, who played with the
He
Heat
does
and the
ki-
Mavs,
yeah.
I guess, but like a little bit like him.
Maybe
but,
they gave him
dude, it's
the-
just maybe
Maybe
the
they
wrong
gave him the
reference
wrong
picture.
Yeah, maybe they gave him a picture of Antoine Walker.
And everyone's
instead.
just like, oh well, he's done some good work otherwise. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll just let him take a mulligan on this one. I don't know.
And like Dwayne Wade gave himself his own jersey swap farewell tour.
Mhm.
It was funny because Dirk and him were retiring at the same time, but Dirk did it the Dirk way, where it's like, hey, I don't want anybody to know about this.
Yeah.
There were rumblings, and there were, everybody's wondering would this be it? They came out with the 41-21-1 thing, and you're like, okay, this
Pretty good sign.
This feels like it, but Dirk
But nothing
would never
really happened until what? The last two games.
Yeah, and
The last home game and then the game in San Antonio.
yes, and with Dwayne Wade, he's going, all right, guys, just want to let you know I'm retiring. I'm going to be swapping jerseys with one player on every team on the way out. I think Netflix was following him around with the
Probably.
whole thing. And so for it to happen to him, it's just like, I'm glad, karma is real.
Mhm.
And, he's super disappointed with it, but his quote about the whole thing was pretty funny to me. He said, what we wanted to do was capture a moment that represented the organization, represented myself, and represented the city. We felt like we captured the moment in artistic form, in an artistic way. If I wanted it to look like me, I would just stand outside the arena. You all would take photos. It don't need to look like me. It's an artistic version of a moment that happened.
And I actually saw someone on Reddit saying, like, that's what you have to say when, like, your 6-year-old kid draws, like,
Yeah.
a picture of you.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a representation of daddy.
Or have you seen that TikTok trend where, I don't know if it's TikTok, but it's just a trend where couples or people will sit across the table from each other and paint each other.
No.
And then at the end they show them the painting and their reaction to it. Oh my God.
That's incredible.
My girlfriend wanted to do that and I was like, I cannot draw at all. I was like, I do not want to just
And somehow that's going to result in that's what you think I look like?
Exactly. And some of them are bad, dude.
Right. Where they look like Napoleon Dynamite's drawing of his day. That looks like Steve Nash.
It's exactly like that. It is exactly like that. So, oh man, I'm glad that
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade got a statue and it looks nothing like him.
And he has to live with that.
He has to live with that forever.
That statue's going to be outside in Miami forever, even after it sinks into the ocean.
Do you think they'll get bullied into redoing it?
Yeah, maybe like in the off season they
But like,
quietly try to, put the new version in, or like on a long road trip. And what are you talking about? Like,
what do you mean?
yeah,
That's
they're
the
just trying to
same-
gaslight their entire fan base. Like, no, this is what it always looked
No,
like. Like, why did someone make a meme out of it?
Check the tape.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we meant to do. So, no, that was
Oh man.
that was a pretty disappointing moment for, I'm sure, Dwayne Wade, the entire Miami Heat culture, fan base, all that. But if you're like me and you don't particularly care for the Miami Heat, then
It's kind of fun.
you might have enjoyed it a little bit.
A little bit.
Got a nice little laugh out of it.
Yeah, I wonder if the sculptor retired though. He was like, yeah, I probably need to hang it up.
Yeah, I think it might be
So I
time.
think the sculptor's about 70.
Yeah, he said he
so
was 70 years
maybe
old.
it's kind of caught up to him.
And I think he's probably made enough statues in his lifetime.
Yeah.
Like the list that you just listed a minute ago was
Like,
an
I think that
impressive-
was just a small list. And
Yeah.
like he also does, it looks like, paintings and stuff like that. So.
Well, it's probably a lot like sports DJing, where it's a very niche job. Like,
Mhm.
there's probably not a whole lot of statue makers out there.
Yeah, like
Sculptors,
Michelangelo's
maybe?
or
I don't know.
Da Vinci's been dead for like 5 centuries now.
Yeah, he was a good sculptor.
Rest
painter.
in peace, King.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace also to the New York Yankees. They are down 3-0. And I don't want to break down the series or anything like that, but I wanted to see, did you see that game 2, the Dodgers had Ice Cube come out and perform before the game? So game 3 rolls around, and then the Yankees are like, all right,
Bet.
we see your Ice Cube, and we raise you a Fat Joe. So Fat Joe came out. He started with lean back. But what everybody's talking about is what happens here in this clip, where he's walking around. He's about to do his hit song All the Way Up. And he's wearing Timberlands. And he destroys the mound seconds before the game starts.
Let's go, Yankees! Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way. I'm all the way up.
Oh,
I'm all the way
you're all the way on the pitching mound.
I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all. Shorty, what you want? Shorty, what you need? My brothers running game. We ain't never leave. Don't know the money. We ain't never. You got a B12. I got Chance. Got Judge. I'm all the way up.
What you want, I got what you need. Shorty, what you want, I got
Let's go, New York.
Shorty,
Let's go.
I got what you need.
I'm all the way up.
He is on the pitcher's mound.
I'm all the way up.
Like he's about to take the ball
Yeah.
We all the way
and
up.
throw to Shohei Ohtani.
All the way up.
Man, and then he got off the mound, and when he was done, just threw the mic down.
Yeah.
Like everything about that. He pissed off the grounds crew and the audio people and fans of music.
And that's not a good performance.
No, like
I was
know.
gonna say, why did they hire him?
It makes sense, I guess. Like in the
It's-
NBA
it's-
Finals last year, we had DeRoe perform
mm,
at halftime, Dallas artist, and he did great. Like he did a great, and he's got the song Mavericks
Yeah.
that we play after the games when we win. And I mean, obviously this was probably planned, but if it wasn't, you probably see the Dodgers bring out Ice Cube, and you're like, crap, who can we?
yeah,
get
we got 36 hours or so to
We got-
try
to respond.
to get someone out there. But yeah, like I was gonna say, people were pointing out Alicia Keys and Jay-Z,
Jay-Z.
New York State of Mind. And,
Jay-Z would have been great.
Yeah.
Like that would have been amazing. And that was the thing, is like watching this.
Dr. Dre's from New York.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I guess he is.
Yeah.
I mean-
I guess I think of him as an LA guy now, but
me too.
it makes sense. Like, yeah, whatever.
But
Where it's just like, why? And it's tough to do kind of any live music in a non-live music setting, even if Yankee Stadium, I'm pretty sure, has held concerts and stuff before. But like when you're trying to, just have a dude by himself singing along to a track, and he's not really, I don't believe, the vocalist on some of the parts that he was singing.
Yeah, it's a lot of
and
features.
then he's just yelling the lyrics. Yeah, and it's
like,
a tough position to be in.
Yeah.
To give him a little credit, but yeah, it's and you can kind of see like, Fox did a pretty good job of showing the fans that were into it, but you could tell there was a lot of WTF looks on a lot of people's faces too.
Well, and they showed Jazz Chisholm there at the dugout, and you could even tell with him, like, he's trying really hard to get into it.
Yeah, he knows the camera's on him, and he's a personality plus, like, so he knows that people are going to be watching him more than they're probably going to be looking to see what, like, Garrett Cole or someone thinks of the performance.
Right. And, I mean, he was up on the step, too. Like, I don't know. It didn't look like many players were out on the step.
Probably not.
To check out Fat Joe before the game. They were probably worried about not going down 0-3 in the World Series.
Look where that got him.
And fans pointed out, too, in the first inning, Freddie Freeman, right, fresh from that messed up pitching mound, hits a 2-run shot to give the Dodgers an early 2-0 lead and totally shut everybody up in that stadium. So, I mean, I get it from, obviously we both worked in that whole thing, and it's like, it makes sense where you want to bring an artist in to kind of get everybody hyped up for the game, but I just don't know if...
It's tough to pull off and do it well, and I'm trying to think of times where that has worked. Like, just having a brief musical performance before a game that isn't the national anthem.
Yeah.
Like trying to do a mini concert. Like, and he basically did a montage of his songs for like 3 minutes or something. And then had to get off because, you got to still do all the other ceremonies. And
well, and I saw people were mad too that they tuned in and they didn't know what was happening and they tuned into a rap concert.
Right.
So, I mean, I get it for like, you're in the World Series, you've made all this extra money, not like the Yankees need it, but hey, let's, give Fat Joe $50,000 or whatever it is to go out there for 3 minutes and perform.
And then like, the fact that they put it on Fox, like, they didn't have to do that necessarily. They could have extended the pregame show or something, but, the fact that got aired everywhere on TV.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, that's good for you, Fat Joe.
Yeah.
Like, get his name out there some more. And
I'd kind of forgotten about him.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it was kind of fun for me because it did let me relive a fun moment from my time at the Ticket where back in 2006 or so, Fat Joe left his record company, Atlantic Records, and before a show one day, or maybe during a commercial break, during the hard line, my friends Corby Davidson and Danny Bayless were sitting around, and Corby goes, "Oh my God, Danny, Fat Joe just left Atlantic Records." And they both just die laughing because Danny thought it was going to be like some actual like
big news,
breaking sports news that they were going to have to start prepping for the next segment. And instead it's that, and then it became everyone on the crew, with the exception of me, pranked their moms, by like calling, making it seem like we were having a normal conversation, just an update on our lives, and then saying, "Mom, I do have to tell you, I hope you're sitting down. Fat Joe just left Atlantic Records." And then getting the reaction, like Mike Reiner's mom was like, "What? Oh gosh, I hate to hear that." And
they're like, acting like they're acting like they cared just because you care.
Like who? And like I couldn't do it though because my mom was listening all the time, and she heard like when Corby and Danny, came back on the air and basically set up the idea of like we might have to, find a way to like prank people we know, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I won't be able to prank my mom because she's usually listening. And my mom texted like, "Yep, I'm listening, Michael."
Yeah.
But
my mom was the same way, like always listening. So
yeah,
if there was anything that was happening, like there was no way of you couldn't prank.
Yeah, there was no way to get her.
Yeah.
But the point of all that was it was fun because I threw that out in a tweet of Fat Joe left Atlantic, and a bunch of P1s tweeted me and, quoted, different ticket drops. And
Yeah.
So it was just a fun little drop fest, which don't always get to do. So that was a fun little, the performance didn't really do anything for me, but the P1 interaction made me happy.
Well, do Uncrustables make you happy?
Reasonably.
Are you an Uncrustables guy?
I've had them before. Like, they're not priority meal, but I've definitely had an Uncrustable or two in my lifetime.
Well, so has the NFL, as the news came out that NFL players eat at least 80,000 Uncrustables a year.
Good.
80,000
Not all at once.
Uncrustables a year. The Denver Broncos
Seriously?
topped the list, consuming 7,000 a week.
Good Lord.
Okay, wait. The just the team or the whole organization?
I mean, probably just the team. It's apparently a very popular halftime snack.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so curious on this.
I think
So you say 85.
I mean, I guess I would assume it's just players, right? Like, I don't think
Yeah, I would think
the
that
accounting
for the
team or the
purposes of
sales
this
team.
That means that each person, if you have it, okay, so 85 men, so you're including the practice squad. Say the practice squad eats several because they don't have the money, whatever. That's still 80 to a person.
a year, a season.
A week.
And
You
so,
just said 7,000 a week.
Yeah, 7,000. The Broncos. The
Good
Broncos
God,
are
okay.
So the Broncos are like way ahead. Like in second place, were the Seattle Seahawks with 3,200. So
yeah, I remember it being a pretty big drop, but still,
the Broncos are doubling second place in terms of Uncrustables.
That's 38 Uncrustables a person a week.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
something is wrong here.
Yeah, the math somehow isn't mathing, because I'm pretty sure they're including like practices and games.
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah. And
Okay,
all
then
that,
let's
but
divide
still,
this
it's
by
like
7.
that makes no sense.
But I mean, they work a lot.
So that's for the Broncos. That's 12 a person a day. 12 Uncrustables.
Yeah, there's got to be.
I mean, some of these guys weigh like 300, 350. Like the lightest guy on the roster probably weighs like 250, right?
Yeah, and Uncrustables aren't exactly a big meal.
No, you could eat like.
Still, like.
Ooh, now we're gonna go get a box of Uncrustables and see how many y'all can eat.
No, we're not.
Oh man, I can't.
So so the 3,200. That's 5.4 sandwiches a person a day. That is more doable.
That's more reasonable. Again,
They have to be including like training staff and coaches, like
and that
just
could
the
make
amount
sense.
bought.
And I mean, it mentions here too that like George Kittle eats 2 Uncrustables during flights to away games. So they bring them with them on the plane to eat.
That's so interesting.
So I think, Travis Kelce revealed on his podcast that he eats more Uncrustables than anything else in the world.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
This is such a good broadcast advertisement for Uncrustables.
I was gonna say, yeah, like it came from an athletic article, where they did a whole feature on it.
That's so interesting.
It's crazy.
There's gotta either one person is literally made of Uncrustables, and they're eating 20 a day, or they're realizing that that includes like training staff, coaches. I'm sorry, this is really bothering me, which is why I literally have my calculator out doing these.
Jeff Saturday, a former center for the Colts, mentioned that, that during the Super Bowl in 2007, Uncrustables were part of the spread ahead of their matchup against the Bears, and they were grabbing like 5 or 6 at a time, all the players.
Okay, so it might not be Uncrustables actually eaten. What if they're taking some home and like the kid eats one?
It's possible.
That's possible.
The dog eats an Uncrustable
and has diarrhea.
Oh,
maybe that's what happened to Ponyo.
Maybe so.
My dog had diarrhea this morning. I got to clean up dog poop at 6:30 a.m.
I love that we've gone from Uncrustables to dog poop.
That's always a fun way to start today.
That's so many Uncrustables, y'all.
I feel like that would gum up the system pretty well.
I mean, I respect it though.
Yeah, and it's a pretty.
Okay, could you eat 5 Uncrustables in one sitting?
Ugh. That's so much peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. I don't think I would feel very well.
They've gotten smaller though, so they used to be really thick and fluffy, and I feel like they've gotten kind of more flat.
Yeah, the shrinkflation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cost more,
They've
look
shrunk.
less.
Yeah. Huh. But still, I did read in that article though that they were having a devil of a time trying to assemble the Uncrustables without like the jelly just squeezing out whenever you would like heat them or try to whatever. So they realized like, what if we put peanut butter on the bottom and we put peanut butter on the top and we put the jelly in the middle of that?
Oh.
So now it doesn't squeeze out.
Is that not
as
how y'all
weird
make a PB&J
when it
anyways?
unthaws?
Oh yeah, that's how I always do it.
Do it?
Not in a normal
Do you do
way?
peanut butter on one and then jelly on the other like the bread?
Man,
When you're making your own?
I haven't made one in forever. Yeah, I think I generally just do one side, and then smush them
You
together.
go one side. Okay,
I
so
do
when,
peanut butter on both sides,
Same.
jelly in the middle.
Okay, so
Smart.
then when you're making like a sandwich, so like a ham sandwich or a turkey sandwich or whatever, do you do like your mayonnaise and your mustard on both sides, or do you do it only on one side?
Both sides. Same,
Yeah, I'm
same.
fat. I do it on both sides.
And then I'll do
Same.
like, depending on how hungry I am, I might do like a piece of cheese on each side, and then
You got to do the cheese on both sides.
that's what I haven't
Yeah.
made a sandwich in a long time. Like you were just saying.
I made a grilled cheese the other day.
Nice.
Oh, I'm not very good at making grilled cheese.
Okay, so here's the thing about making a grilled cheese is you have to butter both sides of the toast,
Mm-hmm.
put them in the pan, and you let them get really crispy, or you pre-put them in the air fryer.
Okay.
Good
and
to know.
then you melt the cheese.
Oh.
Okay.
I have
Air
an air
fried
fryer.
bread is amazing, by the way.
It works.
It's so good.
Air fryers are awesome.
Air fryers are awesome.
I use it for everything.
I always thought that people were like over exaggerating how great they were until I got one. Actually, my sister got one for me for like my birthday or something. She's like, "Look, I know you don't know how to cook. You're not really interested in it, but even you can do this."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I make pastries in the air fryer
Whoa.
like all the time.
Huh.
You go buy like a puff pastry or something from the store, you put whatever you want in it, you egg wash it on the top, throw it in there for 10 minutes. You're
Well,
good to go.
Maybe the next time I go to the store during a Cowboys game, I will get a
your-
pastry.
Make your own pastries.
Yeah.
You can get them from the freezer aisle.
I will
All right.
say, I almost, while we're talking about grilled cheeses and all that, Darcy nearly burned down the place a couple days ago.
Oh, what?
Not even on purpose, not because of being a bad cook,
Ooh, tell me more.
because she was making a grilled cheese for her son Granger, and had everything on the stove. The stove was on. Both sides are being toasted and all that. Darcy's birthday was about a month ago, and me and Granger, while shopping for her, also happened to pick up the little confetti cannons. And
they're
I think you've
confetti?
probably still seen, like, when you walk around my place, like, there are still little bits of confetti everywhere.
Yeah.
I've gotten pretty much all of it picked up, but there was still one.
Grubes, you set
that-
almost set your apartment on fire.
Well, kind of. There was still one in, like, the little vent above the microwave, and Darcy turned on the vent fan on the microwave, and the way my microwave works is, like, it opens a little latch thing to let the vent open, and one little piece of confetti came out, and Darcy didn't see it happen, but the confetti landed on the stove, and like, so all of a sudden there's just this burning, like nothing actually burned,
Yeah.
but everything just like that
Just-
little piece of confetti caused so much smoke,
Yeah.
and like somehow the fire alarm didn't go off,
That's
Oh,
good.
that's good.
but the place smelled like smoke for most of the night. I was able to air it out.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you make for Granger for lunch this morning? You said you made lunches.
I wound up not making one today because
Okay.
I was cleaning up
What do
the
you
dog
normally
poop and
make
stuff.
for lunch? Though?
Normally I make him like a nice little turkey sandwich. But he just we just use the like Hawaiian rolls, and then he just
Ooh,
only
low-key,
wants the little
those are
turkey.
fantastic.
Yeah. So usually that, and a little fruit roll up or yogurt, a fruit or a vegetable, and all that. So nothing too crazy yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Okay,
yeah.
real quick, have y'all seen, since I love food videos, and I know I'm taking you off track, but have y'all seen all the things that they can make with Hawaiian rolls?
I bet there's a lot
No.
of things, but I love Hawaiian rolls. So I
Yeah,
wanna
no,
find out.
there's like a whole like sub Instagram of recipes using Hawaiian sweet rolls.
Nice.
It's amazing, and they all look so good.
Yeah, I like the little. If you go to like a party where they have like the little Hawaiian roll sandwiches.
Oh
you know,
yeah, like
little-
that's what I make
oh
for
my
Granger, like
God,
the
so
the
good.
little rolls. Like
They're so good.
But yeah, but then there's also like the
Those toasted are bomb.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
Let's real quick talk about Venom.
Yes.
Because we got to go to the screening before it came out last Wednesday. Was that Wednesday?
We went on Wednesday. I think it came out Friday.
Friday,
Dude,
yeah.
What did it box office in its first week? The clubhouse said that it was vetted to do 65 million in its first week. What did it box office?
I don't know.
I was told there would be no math.
Oh, I was gonna say we can do that at the end because I want to know what y'all thought of it first, and then to see if it actually.
It
made
was a
$65
$51 million debut.
Okay,
That's not bad.
that's
So
actually very good.
I thought it was good. Like
I really liked it.
we were talking about it, like so we went and we stood in line and they gave us wristbands and we got to go in or whatever, and then they had a guy that was talking before, I guess, just asking, hey, everybody, turn your phones off. Thanks for coming to this. You're welcome to tweet about it or talk about it, whatever. And then he was like, now who in here hasn't seen the first two? And did you raise your hand?
Briefly, and like I guess he saw.
I think so I raised my hand too. I didn't know if he saw you or if he saw me.
But like I think we were the only ones that like raised our hands to at least admit that we had.
Yeah, because we met a friend in line.
Yeah.
Prudence, who said that she hadn't seen it either. I think on the way out or on the way in, she mentioned that. But I raised my hand. You raised your hand. I don't know who, but he goes, "Oh, you're gonna be real confused." Like
he wasn't totally wrong.
He wasn't wrong. Like the very opening scene, I was like, I'm not really sure what the hell is going on here. I'm very confused. But after that, like, it all made sense, like enough sense for me to enjoy it.
Yeah, and like I kind of knew, Venom is a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
So like I knew a little bit of the backstory of at least it's what a symbiote, like it.
Yeah.
As part of the person.
Yeah.
In some way, but it's also I feel like they did a good enough job of setting up and all that it's like you can get along without watching it. And like I haven't watched the first two since getting out of the movie.
Yeah.
But I know it sounds like you were planning to at least skim through.
Yeah, I started the first one. I tried to watch the first one a couple months ago, or maybe a month ago, but I fell asleep because the thing we talked about last time, where I just have this, I fall asleep very easily when I'm watching something, and that's like the only time I can fall asleep easily. But I picked it back up. I haven't finished the first one yet, but it's definitely on my list of things to do, is to finish the first one, then see the second one, and then see how much I really missed. Because when we were walking out, some of the other people who I guess, because like I posted a review about it and I said, hey, I really enjoyed it, and it's always, you got to be careful when you do that because it's a Marvel movie, or if it's Marvel or DC, like you got to be careful because you got to understand there's a lot of people out there who read the comic books and they have this. My expectation is just like, oh, I laughed, the action sequences were good.
I was entertained.
It was entertaining. But then other people are like, well, they didn't really tie this up, or
they didn't show this character.
There was a character that was mentioned on our way out. I forgot the name.
I can't remember
of
the
him.
character either, but they're like, I can't believe they didn't show this guy.
Yeah, and I was walking by and I heard that and I was like, I wonder who that guy is.
Yeah.
So, but no, all in all, like, if you just want to go and just be entertained, it was funny. The Venom character had a lot of funny lines.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it with subtitles whenever it comes out so I can understand it fully. Like, there was a couple times where I didn't know what he said.
Yeah, Tom Hardy's got had a lot of fun with that accent, you can tell.
Yeah, no, he had a great time
voice.
with it. And it had a very Deadpool feel to it, where it's like, it's, I was surprised it was rated PG-13 afterwards when I saw that.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was rated R, but
me too.
Yeah, it's and it's funny. I think there is a little bit with Venom, and there's a couple other offshoots of the Spider-Man universe, where it's like they care about the movie, but they don't. But like they keep putting out these Spider-Man universe movies because it keeps the Spider-Man intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember if it's Sony and Marvel, I guess.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if it's Sony that. It's so confusing.
Yeah, we're probably pissing off people that know.
But like they don't do a ton of marketing and a ton of promoting for those movies because they mostly just do it so they can keep Spider-Man property.
Right.
Doesn't Disney own it?
And I probably
I
shouldn't
think
be brought
Disney.
this
I
up.
think
yeah.
Disney owns Marvel.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Sony
It's
owns
on
DC.
all the Marvel stuff is on Disney Plus. Because I've been wanting, I've been dying. Like I want to be a Marvel fan so bad. Like I really do. But I tried to, like I pulled up like the timeline of like the order of all the movies to watch and to try to I tried to go through the list and I could not make it through the first Captain America movie, like Winter Soldier, I think it was. Dude, every time about 45 minutes in, I passed out.
It's because you had your feet up.
Every single.
Oh,
it is.
Not his legs up.
Not my legs, just my feet.
I saw something recently where they're about to redo Fantastic Four.
Ooh.
And the villain in that is going to be depicted from Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah.
And then they started making
Doom
Dr. Doom. And then they started making Iron Man connections to it. So how Dr. Doom is like the like anti Iron Man, and how like once Iron Man dies, like he comes back from like another timeline or something as Dr. Doom.
Well,
damn.
And did you see that? It actually brings up. I saw this. Like Robert Downey Jr. said he will sue from his grave if Hollywood uses AI to portray him in anything moving forward. And they're like, well, how are you going to sue him? You know, you'll be dead. And he said, my law firm will still be here. So I
respect that.
He'll have it like in perpetuity with his law firm or just the law in general. Like, hey, if they use, whoever uses AI to recreate him after he's dead is going to get sued.
Damn.
Which I respect that.
I respect lawyers.
Is he dying anytime soon?
Hopefully not.
I don't think so.
I was like, wait. But I can understand that. They're doing that with DJs now. Like
he's 59. I mean,
like a couple
Drake
of DJs.
had a song where they used AI to have Tupac in it.
Right.
Ooh.
Which is like messed up. You know?
It's weird.
That's wrong.
So
Tupac's still alive.
Do you have any more thoughts on Marvel?
Not really.
All right.
There's a lot there.
There was a lot there, and I hope we got it right. And
we probably didn't. But
we probably didn't at all.
We had fun discussing it.
Yeah, and I hope that you'll be, I don't know, be lenient with us, be forgiving if we messed anything up. At least we didn't, say that, the Millennium Falcon is the best part of Star Wars or something like that.
Yeah, but if you do have anything to say to us, we're going to come at you wearing our football pads.
Yeah.
Like Mike Leslie, Trevon Diggs. Huh?
Yeah. You can get mad at Deez nuts.
Yeah. Deez nuts.
And thank you for joining us on episode number 12 of Shippy and Grubes. I'm Shippy.
I'm Grubes.
And we appreciate you very much. Make sure you follow us on all the socials at Shippy Grubes. Make sure you subscribe to the Sunset Lounge. We've got a lot of new shows coming in. And we're only getting better as a podcast network. Thank you to Stolen Water Media for putting this whole thing on. Thank you to Grubes for being a gracious host.
You're welcome.
And thanks to Ashley for producing the whole thing. And until next week, for episode number 13, good luck out there to everyone. I did it.
You did.
Finally.
You nailed the landing.
Nailed it.
You're Shippy Biles.
This is a Stolen Water Media production.